KP bought all the homies, the normal. I think I saw Bird in here earlier too. I could be wrong. All right, y'all. Let me pull the guys in, get you introduced.
Hello.
Here you are. HENNO and MamaNamedMeEvan. But before we get into all the big introductions, my name is Tia Gordon. I'm the playlist manager here at BeatStars. I'm also your host. If you're new, this show happens every Tuesday, same time, same place, and we're highlighting the community that have joined us for publishing. As under BeatStars Publishing, we are partnered with Sony ATV, who are the #1 global music publisher in the world. So for more information on that, you could check out beatstars.com/publishing. You can also fill out an application form if you're interested in us representing you. Also, another thing you should absolutely have done by now, if you haven't, is follow BeatStars Publishing on Instagram. Okay, that's a really great place for you to get some information on what publishing is, get introduced to our clients. You know, just poke around there if you want. I have a couple dope things I want to give you guys the heads up on before we actually jump into the show. We have a really great session coming up called Master the Beat, which was created for our community to learn from top-selling producers on the platform. So our first session coming up will be with Othello Beats. If you've seen him on the charts the last couple of weeks, you'll know that Meek Mill freestyled over one of his beats that's actually on the platform. So this Saturday, November 7th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And this show is aimed to teach you best practices for YouTube, selling beats online, networking, securing placements, all kinds of stuff. Othello has not only landed placements with Pop Smoke, Lil TJ and Tory Lanez and more, but like I just said, he did go viral off of Meek Mill freestyling off of a video, which led him to sell over $40,000 worth of beats in less than a month. So if you want to join that, you can use the code MTB25 for 25% off of your ticket. And tickets are available at beatstars.world/Othello. We also have another really cool contest going on. You could win some bread. I know we like money on this show. So Ricky Desktop and Beast Child, who are two TikTok superstars, have teamed up with us for the Spooky Bars Challenge. You can enter the rap contest for a chance to win up to $1,000 just by spitting a verse on a free beat and uploading it to TikTok. The last day to enter this is Friday, November 6th at 11:59 p.m. PST. So for more information, you can go to beatstars.world/spookybars. If you miss all of this right after the stream, you could just refresh Twitch or wherever you're at, and you should be able to re-pull up that information. So yeah, that's pretty much that for the promo. Actually, I'm lying. One more thing. I'm also wearing our Pay the Creators t-shirt. This was part of our merch line that dropped when we announced that we paid out $100 million to our creators. So pretty geeked about that. If you guys want to check some out, there's hoodies, crew necks, hats, stickers, what am I missing? T-shirts, long sleeves, the 9 that all have this beautiful artwork on it that our team worked very hard on. So you could go to merch.beatstars.com, check it out, get cozy for the winter. You can jump into the show now. Last week we spoke with So Special and Retro One. That was a great time. We learned a lot about pretty much everything on the BeatStars platform last week, actually. So I'm pretty excited about that. But this week, as you can see on the screen, we've got HENNO and MamaNamedMeEvan, and I'm really excited to have you guys here today, and also, of course, have you guys a part of our family. So I don't know who wants to go first, but I'd love if you guys can introduce yourselves. HENNO's pointing at you, Evan, so I'm going to let you go first. Can you just let us know, who you are and what kind of music you make, and maybe what led you to start working in music? And you might have to unmute yourself.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I go by MamaNamedMeEvan, music producer. The type of music I make, I kind of make all, I would say mostly around hip hop, R&B. I've dipped and dabbed in other genres as well, but primarily hip hop, R&B, trap music, party club, uplifting types of vibes. And as far as what led me to music, I started off rapping, and that was kind of my introduction. I was about maybe 9 years old, and I just started off rapping. And I got into production by just literally went to the studio with one of my mentors in the neighborhood. And I realized how expensive studio time was at a young age. I couldn't keep raking leaves and affording it. So I ended up basically getting my own studio so that I can record myself, save some money. And that's how I got into production engineering and that whole ordeal. So from Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised. And yeah, it's pretty much
fire. I think, I don't know, y'all. You might be frozen. And I don't know if that's just me. Do you mind maybe just jumping out and jumping back in, and so that we can unfreeze, because we want to see you. Okay, let's see what happens. Henno, can you introduce yourself? Let us know where you're from, what kind of music you make, all that.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Henno, and I go by that name. It was my nickname in school, so I kind of stick to that. And I'm from Germany. Shout out to all my fellow producers here in Germany. You do great. And I mainly do like the same stuff that MamaNamedMeEvan does. I kind of try out different when I'm like bored or something else, but I mainly do trap, hip hop, and all that stuff that's like banging the clubs, primarily in the US, because I focus on that business over there. That's how I got into BeatStars. Yeah, that's kind of all I can say. Yeah, and I started with like songwriting and rapping too. That's like very funny, but I kind of like drew back. Like in the first place, I started like producing at that same time, but I had like very, very known artists around me in Hamburg, where I was like great artists. I don't know if they are known in the US, but here in Germany they were mad poppin', and I just hung around with them in big studios. But I
Feel
didn't
free to shout them out. I think the people
yeah,
that hang out with us really like to learn. So
I don't know if anyone knows him. Zilla, he had a big time. Merzat Marashi, he was one of the, like, it's the pendant to like American Idol. We call it Deutschland sucht den Superstar. I think he won the first show. I was very often, I did like chill around in his studio in Hamburg because he did his own thing with his own producer and stuff. They're like pushing like an artist right now. I'm not connected to them anymore because I got like friends that are doing another label. I send them stuff sometimes when I'm like in the mood for that. But they got an artist that's like quite popping on YouTube right now and on TikTok as well. Yeah, other names were like, often I've been backstage, probably know like 187, 187 Straßenbande, Bones, Jesus. I think there are names that might be known in the US. Shout out to Jesus, he's like in bed right now.
Yeah, Canada, so I get to skate around there. I've never heard of these books.
Yeah, like other people I like quick connection, like I made there, I said hello to them because we were a lot, we were backstage, we had like big connections, Zido and stuff like that. But all that dropped back because I'm not interested in German hip hop. It's like, to be honest, they copy the shit that US American producers do. And that's like, fuck, I don't do that. Seriously.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me. But you know what? I think it's pretty cool, like in terms of cross-border, like people making music. It's just influence. I think it's okay. I want to know what the both of y'all rap names were.
Oh no. Oh no.
You tell me.
I had a rap name. I didn't came to that, like I don't even have, but I have mad lyrics, yo. I'm just moving myself. So
No, what was your rap name?
You know, everybody had Lil in front of their name. So I was Lil E when I started off, and then Lil E, and then it turned into X. A lot of people know me as X. My real name is Evan, so that's why I go by MamaNamedMeEvan now as a producer and stuff. But It was Lil E, and then it graduated to X. Don't ask me where the X came from, but
Oh my goodness. So if I'm like a little bit inclined to call you Lil E for the rest of the interview, but I will not do it just out of sheer respect.
don't do it.
So I want to know what or how you guys first got into BeatStars and what attracted you to wanting to build out a career online. And either one, or you can start. I know it's you. He lobbed it back to you.
Uno momento. Like in my rapping days, songwriting days, I just went very often. I was there very often, played beats and stuff. I might have bought a beat there back then. Could be. I don't know if I have it. I don't know. I got so many stuff.
Go back through the hard drive.
My hard drive is full with stuff. I don't know if there's anything that's there. And I kind of proceeded from there. I made my own BeatStars account back then, 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. And when I focused on music production, I ultimately went pro. And from this point on, I proceeded there and just like posted beats when I got bigger. But I ultimately did the most things on Instagram. But I made my connections to BeatStars, not on Instagram, because I didn't post beats there. I just teased stuff there, like loops or something like that for 10 seconds, and then they got back to my BeatStars page. Yes.
I know, like, before we started the show, I know you and I were talking about your Instagram, and I don't know if you want to speak about your experience, but I know that you said that it was a lot. But we can just pause on that for 1 second, because I do want to.
We can do that later.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, no, I don't know what's the approach with that, but we can do that later, and Evan can continue with like how he got into BeatStars, because there's like a straight line. We got like a red. No.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, Evan, who do we have here?
This my twin. This my son Jay. Say hey, everybody.
Hey, Jay.
He's the one producing for real. It's not me. He's ghost producing. He's doing all the beats, and I'm just taking all the credit for it.
So you racking up over there, Jay? Young credits.
How
did you get started?
How did I get the BeatStars, basically?
Yeah.
I'm relatively new as a producer on BeatStars. So I'm not gonna lie, obviously starting off rapping, I used to kind of steal a lot of my beats off of BeatStars. So I've always been familiar with it. But I was one of those producers that's like, I don't want to be no online producer, because that's not how I got my start, or at least got some type of credibility in the music industry. I was fortunate enough to get, a couple of placements as like my first start offs, but I was kind of against it. I'm like, online beats, internet, no, I don't want none of that. No. But eventually I got out of my own way. And I'm just like, in this industry, everything is changing, and I can't be one of those people that's just stuck in his ways. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try some online stuff. And that's when I remembered. I'm like, BeatStars, that's where I used to get my beats from. So let me go ahead and get on there and try. So I'm still new. Don't get me wrong. I'm learning every day. Henno, I'm sure some things you could teach me. But yeah, that's kind of how I got my start. I wanted to stop doing stuff.
So you had just said that you were kind of like, I guess the word would be apprehensive about getting online. Can you speak to why that may have been, and what was the catalyst for you actually jumping on when all was said and done?
Yeah, just the stigma, just the stereotype, just hearing, like, I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't as educated. I would just listen to what other people would say, and just like the whole, the back, like the stuff that comes with online producing. Like, if you this big producer online, whether if it's YouTube and stuff like that, then you may not hear much of a big placement kind of thing that comes with it. Like, it's either, for me, I thought it was either one or the other. You either gonna be an online producer and that's it, that's where your career stops, or you're gonna be somebody that's getting placements and actually, you're not in that saturated world. So that's kind of how I was again, I was stubborn and I didn't want to educate myself and actually dig into how beneficial it could be to actually market yourself and put yourself out there. But what got me into it was just honestly, placements slowing up. You know, like we all know this game. You can have the hottest beats in the world. That don't mean Meek Mill is gonna rap to your stuff. That don't mean Jay-Z is gonna hear your stuff. And just realizing how slow that was, and I'm just like, I gotta do something. I can't sit around waiting on somebody to put me on or somebody to rap to my beats or hoping that Rick Ross put the song out, you know, that I'll probably produce for him. And I'm just like, I gotta get myself out there. So that's kind of what really said, you know, I'm gonna get on this online stuff and learn.
I mean, you got yourself out there. You have a pretty solid list of credits over here that we'll share with people later. But it's nice to hear that, you know, I understand the apprehensiveness and there's a lot of stigma. I mean, we talk about this every week, guys. Like, people are like, don't be a type beat producer or whatever. But it's just like, it's a really great searching tool. And don't let nobody play you either, because there's some really big producers on BeatStars just under alias names. So don't let nobody play you that way. Like, go get your bread. It's not about that. So, where do I want to take this? I kind of want to know, in the spirit of teaching things, maybe Henno, I'd love to hear some of your favorite tools or best practices for making the most out of BeatStars. And maybe Evan can learn a 1-2 thing here, but maybe you can also share, Evan, some things that you're coming up on that have been helpful for you. But I'm going to start with Henno.
Okay, like, don't post too much. That's the first thing I would say. Don't post too much stuff on BeatStars, because you ultimately want your audience to like make them wait on your stuff, make them fiend for your stuff, because that's like the approach. They want to know like, ooh, when's that next record dropping? When can I like, ooh, here's something from him? That's like the ultimate approach. I did that on IG, on Gmail, like, and you could have a regular plan, like Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or on the weekends. But I would like surprise my audience. I would like not let them guess when I drop stuff, because that's like, ooh, that's like a jam. I think it's a jam. There's no big approach you can go with, like connecting on BeatStars. I haven't witnessed that out yet, because like I didn't find out who is a producer or who's an artist. Most people are producers and artists. So I would go like put myself out in like other platforms. Facebook, totally underrated. Like, there's so many artists out there, you can connect with them. There's very, very, very much stuff you can connect there and collect there, because I think Instagram is like grown out. You gotta wait on Instagram unless like big producers or people reach out to you. That was the case with me. I went in the Adrian Mafia with that, because you don't want to hear things. That's like the thing I can say. Wait on that, because like artists on Instagram don't really respond if you like want to reach out to them, because most of them got their producers. They already picked them, so you gotta wait. You gotta make your name, of course. If Corona wouldn't be there right now, I would like move around. I would like go to studios, of course. I would do that, especially if I would be in the US, because there's so many opportunities and big studios you can go to. Connect to like the minor producers or like the producers that work with bigger artists. Maybe you can get via them to like bigger opportunities. That's a thing you could do. And I would post my stuff everywhere. Like, when I post a beat on BeatStars, I wouldn't leave it there. I would do it on Instagram. I would put it on probably on TikTok, because a lot of people are dancing on TikTok. I didn't do that. I didn't try out, but a lot of people go with like beats or like artists. I connected with artists that popped via TikTok. In Germany, in the US, maybe you can get your beats on TikTok. would be a way. Like if they like could vibe to it, I would do it because
Yeah,
it's only video. I think no one did that before, so it's like a big market because all the other stuff seems a bit oversaturated right now. So you gotta find new places. Yeah, and your music needs to be heard. You gotta have a name. That's like A. Mafia told me that. You gotta make yourself a name. And from there on you can push. Yeah. That's all.
No, I was just gonna say that sounds like some pretty solid pieces of advice as far as using the platform, get your stuff out. I like that you said. It's funny to me because I talk to a lot of you guys, and I think the common consensus is to upload on a regular schedule. So whether it's look at Evan, like, yeah. And that would be like, if you upload every Friday or every Monday and Wednesday or whatever the case. So I think you're the first person who said, like, I like to keep them on their toes. But I guess that works for you if you have a certain audience who is a returning customer or is just like a big fan of you. And I think that speaks to the work that you're creating. So, I mean, good for you to be able to do that. Evan, have you had any experiences or anything that you might be able to share for making the best out of BeatStars thus far?
So first of all, Henno, you famous, so you need to put me on. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we gonna start this off. If you don't gotta upload as much, I mean, hey, you need to put me on. Upload my beat, all right, so I can get some followers and stuff. But but like she said, I mean, I've been told, actually, being consistent, especially for a new producer online as like myself, I've been told that consistency is pretty much the way to build your brand. And I mean, I think that goes with anything. Like, it don't just stop at BeatStars, but whether if it's social media, whatever business you have, just putting it out there so that you can kind of grow that trust. And then eventually what you have that following, then I think that's where that comes in at, where it's like, hey, you surprise them. Hey, make them fiend, make them wait. But right now, as a new producer, and I think I speak to a lot of new producers that is on BeatStars or even considering joining BeatStars, it's important to upload a lot and to stay consistent. So that's kind of one of the things I've been learning right now is just keep uploading. And I have been kind of noticing a difference with just uploading, daily or every other day, where either more comments, I'll get more comments, or just some of the same people that will say something and follow and say, hey, I heard this. I love your work ethic. I see what you're doing with this new sound. Keep it up, keep up the great work. So, but that's definitely been helpful. I've been also, again, I'm new, so forgive me, but creating, like, not just stopping at uploading single beats, but like actually getting on playlists, like create your own playlist, inspire, if you're a Drake, if you like to make Drake style beats, create a playlist that say, Drake inspired, similar to what, BeatStars is doing, and create your own playlist and make it public so that other people will actually see that when they search. They may just search for Drake inspired beats, and now your playlist pops up and they found them a Drake style producer. Creating your own albums and track listing is definitely helpful. And also, like, paying attention to I'm big on business. I'm big on branding and brand product placements and all that. Your pro page, not just stopping at just the regular, default template, but actually spending time and putting money into making your pro page unique and pop out. Things like that, making sure you're filling out all the information in your I guess they call it metadata or whatever. Don't put your tempos in there, put your keys. I know it's very it can slow the creative process down. You just want to put the beat out and get love, but like things like I'm an engineer, so like keys to me is important. Having the BPM is important. Putting those moods in there, that's important. You got people that's typing in, I'm angry and I'm depressed, and they want stuff. They want to get straight to it. You want to make things very accessible, very easy for any client or any consumer or anybody that's searching for something to just easily find you. So I found that that's been helpful. I'm sorry. I know I'm speaking like I've been doing this for years online, but I get it.
You're coming with the gold right now. So, like, I'm very happy. Like, both of you are hitting the nail on the head. Absolutely. I think what I really love about what you just said is that you're really you're utilizing all access points, all possible ways that people can find you. You're trying to make it a point, especially with on the platform. So, as far as uploading beats, that's great. Are you tagging the beats appropriately? Like, something that I don't know if this is a suggestion that would make sense, but I think you get like 3 tags. So, pick an artist, pick a mood, pick a genre. That's a really good way to come up, putting in the BPM, putting in the key. Those are things even we use on BeatStars when we're looking for music to run ads and stuff. Like, we might need a specific BPM. These are really great ways that you can come up, and playlisting. I know playlisting, as far as like getting playlisted by us, is special and it's a big deal, but also building out your own playlist, because those playlists come up in the search regardless. And sometimes giving people a one-stop shop for all the stuff that you put in a playlist could end up being their entire project. So, just making use of the space. And also another thing, the pro page, like, Evan, I know yours is really nice. It's like got really nice blue tones on it. It's easy to look at. You just make people want to come back to you because you put that time into to be seen. And, don't just upload your beat and let it go into the abyss, because there's hundreds of thousands of tracks being uploaded a day. You know what I mean? So you really want to stand out. And I know the two of you do stand out because I see your names all the time. So there's that. So maybe we could speak to just like these credits that we got here. I know with Evan, you got K Camp, you got Trouble, Yo Gotti, Sammy, Rich Homie Quan. You've got a solid list here. And 2 things I kind of want to know, actually 3 things. I want to know, what was your favorite placement, how you got to some of these, and what you look for when you're trying to work with an artist.
Okay. I might have to have you ask me each one.
All good.
In places, but as far as the favorite placement, that's very hard, I think, for any producer to really answer, because there's so many different variables. But what I would start with saying, like, I'm not going to even go with the biggest one. I think the most important and like favorite placement that I do have is actually from a local artist from Cincinnati named Lantana. And the reason he had a track called All Hustle No Luck. Quick backstory: we used to go to high school together. He went to jail for a very long time. He came out and he was just like, I want to take this music serious. Cincinnati really don't have much of a track record of like music success aside from Boosie Collins, High Tech, and Isley Brothers and things like that. But from a hip hop standpoint, especially in this generation, we don't have much of a success. So when he got out, we did the track, just like all producers, you go off faith. Everybody say they're gonna make it. You don't know what's gonna happen. But we did that record, and they pretty much got him out of the city, right? Got him out of that whole only in your town. And it led him to being able to get a deal with RCA, Sony, and he on the remix, we was able to get Gotti, Pusha T, and Bun B, which are two or 3 of my favorite artists, and as well as Yo Gotti. So that's one of my favorites because it came from a city of mine where a lot of people are not known to make it out. And that's very hard to do. So it wasn't that initial Jay-Z placement or that, Meek Mill or anything, but it was like, for us both to not have any kind of recognition in the industry, and we were able to create something that at least got us to 106 in Park, that got us, to where you're on Sway in the morning and these people are vouching for you. That's big to me because it's from my hometown, and we wasn't supposed to do that. They didn't count on us to do that. So that's one of my favorite. I hold that to the heart. And the other ones are pretty dope. I think the K Kent record is dope too, because I'm big on building relationships from from new artists. So like everybody, again, a lot of producers think you got to wait and hope to get the Jay-Z placement or the Lil Wayne placement, but it's those up and coming artists that's bubbling up, and you got to know when to time and catch it, and actually, you know, that's the easiest way to network with an artist. I'm always trying to find out who's the new artist. I lived in Atlanta for a while, went to Art Institute. I learned a lot about marketing. I met Stewie Rock. He taught me a lot. And introduced me to a lot of people that was coming up. So instead of being a bougie producer and like, I ain't working with him if he ain't got a #1 record right now, I'm like, nah, his sound is dope. He got something going on. I think this could be something. I'm gonna put my all into this. And that's how I met K Camp. And I met him right on the cusp of like before he got signed, and like right when he was really, you know, obviously he had like 2 records out that was doing really well. And that's how I was able. So that would be like, I guess, my second favorite, because again, it was like that up and coming kind of approach of the underdogs.
I think you kind of answered all 3 questions in
that.
Okay. You told us why you wanted to work with him and how that came to be, and I think that's pretty cool. Like, so in the case of like Lantana and K Camp, like K Camp, I'm a huge fan of. If y'all don't listen to K Camp, when he says he's the float god, he's not lying to you. Definitely check him out. But I think in the case of artists like that, especially based on the stories you just shared, I think that the most beautiful part of that is like everybody's just hustling and trying to get it, and you bond better that way. Like there's no like I'm sunning you. There's no little brothering here. It's like we're just trying to create, and I think that's really, really dope. So congratulations on those tracks, and especially congratulations to Lantana. Henno, you've got production with Rich the Kid.
Oh. Tia, why are you muted?
Did you hear me at all?
No, I didn't hear anything because you kind of muted yourself.
So
sorry. Could be like that I unmuted myself too early, but I just got the Rich Kid part.
What I was saying is you got production with Rich the Kid and Cardi B, and you also have some unreleased music coming out. So maybe you could speak to that and how those things happen for you. You know, especially those are some pretty big name artists in the US, and you're all the way in Germany. So how did those things happen for you?
Yeah, I think it started with Palace. I think it all came back to that. He's living like 300 kilometers away from me. I wasn't able to visit him, but he invited me over his crib, so we could have produced back then, but we got into some beef, unfortunately. And via that, I got into the big names. I just focused. I did 7 days a week. I was going all ham. I produced like every day. I didn't give a fuck about telling anybody what I did or like posting my stuff, because I was like, big producers don't do that too, and I don't want to showcase my stuff unless it's released with an artist. I was like, all due to that nasty approach, and just didn't want to share anything. And like, I think it was like start of this year, because last year my IG was popping as hell. I got like big names viewing my stories and all that, and I was like a little one with like 200 followers or stuff like that. But they all hopped in my life, and they just visited, just wanted to know what I was doing, which type of beats I was making. On the regular, I had Southside watching my story, and due to that, ultimately I like connected to one of TM's cousins, little one. He was like upcoming too, and he just asked me. I was just following him, and just asked me to collab. The start was little charge, like he put all the like discounts on my music and on my collabs he could do. And in the end, we was like doing free stuff because we was so popping every weekend. And I just sent him stuff like half finished loops, beats, or stuff finished. What I could do in the whole week, how much I could do, and I was on top of the list. And we was popping. We got beats in every week. He was touring around the whole US. He got in with Joe Moses. Unfortunately, he picked I think it was a DJ Mustard beat. we kind of missed on that. But after that, we got in with like Rich the Kid. I didn't see the record myself, and it's unreleased to this date. But Jalen just posted it. It was like he told me, it was like hard as fuck. He like they shouted it out on FaceTime because they have that connection to the artist. Like if he records something, he calls them and say, "Oh, look at what fire I got." And on that we had like big names every weekend, like peg requests from, I don't know, I think T Glizzy, G Herbo, and all those big names. And then it came to like Cardi B. They all have projects in back. Some stuff will never be released, I know that too, but there's still stuff that could be released. I think they're waiting on that right time, and I'm waiting on that right time too. Because, for example, Palace made a song with Southside, and 2 years later it got released. You gotta have patience when you're in that business. Really, you gotta have a lot of patience when you're in a business. And if you want to make quick money, you can go like, okay, I'm gonna just quick check them, but you gotta stay very motivated and you gotta have a lot of patience if you want to make the big moves. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to sell beats? Do you want to have placements? I only want to have placements. I really don't care about beats selling, really. I don't do that. That's not my approach. I do that with local people or friends because it's like fun to me to do that. And it's like inspiration for me. I did that, I think 2 weeks ago. I had a friend here. We did like a whole day. We were producing a whole EP in one day. He wanted to do more, but we were left on time. We had no time anymore. And he probably made my favorite, I think my favorite song to this date. He did that. It was like the beat was, you kind of can make this beat similar to Wheezy's Heartbeats, but with an R&B approach. I never released that stuff. I couldn't convince him to release that stuff, unfortunately, but that was my favorite record because that song was so dope, and he kind of like, he was so talented, but he wants to go to the army. I was like, you dumb, but that's his decision, so I can't really convince him to do other stuff. But yeah, it's actually my favorite track we made. I engineered that whole song. I did the whole production. I actually rapped over that beat before he did that because he didn't catch the flow. He didn't do that, so he had to like copy my style. But I didn't care because he was the better singer and I'm just a better composer. Because I'm more like in my ears. Yeah, of course. Half of my family are musicians. I think one of a far relative for me, he worked for Udo Lindenberg, if you know him. Very big name in Germany in the 80s, 90s, 70s. I think it was like I think an uncle, second grade or something like that. He was a pianist. Unfortunately, he killed himself.
Okay.
But no, I didn't. I wished that I knew him because he could teach me so much on the keyboard, because he was his personal pianist. That was like mad cool, but I didn't get to know him. But yeah, that's like where my musical career started. Like my grandfather used to play the violin very, very well. He had offers to play in like big bars and stuff like that. He could have been paid very, very well for doing that. And that's like where my musical, like, I think DNA is from. My father played an instrument. I missed on that. I wanted to play the drums at early ages, but it kind of like was kicked back to sports, but it's all cool because I learned all that stuff in my during my master classes when I did my psychology degree. So no worries on that. It was pretty easy to learn all that stuff for me. And Yeah, that's like all. I kind of like drew back to like other topics right now, but
Oh, cool. Thank you for like
it's
sharing your
yeah.
like process and how you got into everything and like,
Mm,
you know, again, it just kind of speaks to the fact that producing and beat making and having everybody has different goals as far as their careers go. Like, for a couple weeks ago, I spoke to somebody who only wanted to do like music for movies and
well,
television.
that's cool
So if
too.
you
Yeah.
just want to produce for the sake of, receiving placements and working with artists, I think that's viable and that makes sense. And, you know, nobody's process is the same, but maybe just speaking to patients, and I'm going to jump to Evan quickly just before we start playing your guys' music and stuff. I'd like to hear from both of you, but, I was talking to Henno offline before we started, and he brought up how COVID has really just shut stuff down. You can't go to the studio. Well, you can if you're like being risky, but you can't go to the studios. You can't go to shows. It's really hard to connect with people in person. In his case, it's hard for him to travel. He would have been here or in the U.S. Sorry, working. So how have you been able to stay on top of like your work and finding inspiration during the pandemic?
Honestly, I mean, and I think a lot of creators and artists and stuff can attest. It never really stopped me from anything. I mean, I own a recording studio. It affected me financially from a business standpoint, but from a creative standpoint, I actually think it positively impacted a lot of people. It gave me a chance to sit down and actually get online. I think that that's where me saying, you know what, I'm gonna start this internet thing, since we forced to stay in the house. They're not taking internet away, so and they can't take nothing. I don't think for a true artist, a true creator, these type of events just enhances it. It creates and birth, um, you know, magicians. Like it's So for me, honestly, I think it it, uh, it gave me a boost. So it didn't really affect me from a creative standpoint, but definitely from like networking and stuff. Um, I am a person to person. I like to meet face to face. Like if I'm working with somebody, I'll fly out to the city to work because I'm one of the producers that like to work from scratch. Like I want to, there's no loops for real for me. Like let's create, let's do this. But at the same time, I think it also opened a lot of doors for people that is, and on the internet and trying to hop in DMs and message, Jeezy to see, hey, let's work, or up and coming artists. So I don't know. I didn't really see like no big from a creative standpoint. I think it helped a lot.
It supported you a little bit
For
better.
sure.
Whereas I know Henno saying he's on super lockdown over there. He can't.
Oh,
He can't.
yeah.
So I'm really sorry to hear that, buddy.
And I wanna, if I may, I wanna. You mentioned something, I think you were talking about like records, and I think a lot of producers, we all go through this, man. It's like, those placements that haven't been released. I think we all got a bunch of those. Whether if it's like, the top tier artists, or just some of the artists that's just signed, that just newly signed to labels, or just been signed and they just haven't had a big break. And it's important for, like you say, patience. Like that's key, is staying patient and just trying to find other things to do and plant other seeds, so that whenever that time comes, that it's just icing on a cake, but not putting your time and focus in on this one thing. Like, I have to get this placement. They have to put the record out, and if you're that adamant about it, and you got to find creative ways to get them to put the record out. For the K Camp Blessing, I don't, and I don't want to take full credit for him putting it out, but when we first did the record, I don't think he really had much of like, he wasn't really, I mean, he liked it, but I don't think it was enough to where he was like, yo, this is the one. It wasn't that, it was the last song on his album, In Due Time. And I think that was purposely done. It was just kind of like, put that on the end, and it ended up being, something like a classic, to where people was like, no, we actually feel that record. But I would text him, I would remind him, put the record out. Right now, shoot, I got a record with Rick Ross. It's not released, You know, it's supposed to go on Self-Made 4. I'm sorry if I'm putting too much info out, but I need everybody to jump in Rick Ross DM and messages and say, yo, put the track out called Concrete Jungle. What's up with that? You know, put that out.
Excuse me, Mr. Biggest Boss. We're gonna need that. If you're listening.
But to my point, you got to be patient with things like that. But if you do want to focus on that, find creative ways to get people to jump on, you know, to do what you want them to do. And I like when producers, like, they post beats and they tag the artist and they tell their followers to go tell her, you know, Cardi would sound good on this track. I love, like, especially in TikTok. And you got a lot of artists that sometimes responds to that. Like, yo, I keep hearing people jump in my DM about this beat or this record, you know, and just finding new ways to market yourself and just reinvent yourself as a creator, as a producer, artist. I think it's very important when you're dealing with the patience part of it and waiting, you know, make it happen, manifest it, and, you know, and bring attention to yourself. So yeah, I don't know if that's off topic completely, but I was, you know,
I love that, and I appreciate you saying all those things. It's just like there's a fine line between persistence and annoying, I guess, but it's also like you have a dream and you need to chase it and you need to stay on top of it, because sometimes you don't have a team to do that for you. And just speaking of patience, I want to thank everybody for staying with us still. I see there's still a lot of people in the chat. Y'all are active, and I want to start playing some of your guys' music. So I don't know if you guys want to rock, paper, scissors for this. Like, who want to go first? Henno, okay, you're on deck, bud. Sorry.
Play that heat, Henno. Play that heat.
Yes, sir. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this little screen of mine. Give me one moment, y'all. This is like, I'm always so slow to do this. Where are we at here? I think. Sorry, guys. I'm missing my window right now. There we go. Hopefully this works. Okay. I think this was you. Yes, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and start playing some of your tracks. Maybe you could tell me which one you want to start with.
Okay. That's a tough decision already. I want to go slow. I think we should start with the first track, because that was like featured on the playlist, and it's like all lush and dreamy, and we can go on from there to, like, I might pick the last track as the second one. As the second one, yeah. And from there, like, because the third track is a little bit like in another style. It's like more like EDM.
All right, let's get one at a time.
I don't think that. Yeah. I think we should start with the first.
All right, guys.
And yes.
Everybody in the chat, if you're here every week, you know we do this thing. We rate the tracks out of 5 Timberland boots. So if you are in Illmind streams and you have his Timberland emote, please use that. If not, just use the little boot emoji that you have on the desktop or whatever it is that you're using. Out of 5 Tim boots, I want to know how hard this first track is. All right, y'all. Okay, I remember playlisting this beat. I remember it and being like, holy shit. So fire. I really love that one. All right, I saw 5 Tim boots, I saw 3 Tim boots, I saw 4. All right. So you got some high ratings over here. So we're gonna go to the next one, which is the last one, right? Cool, let's do it. I'm glad I ran that long enough to hear the guitar there. I'm so glad. That was hard. Hold on, I can't hear you. What?
It was like, it's not, sometimes when you produce beats, I gotta say something to that because that's very important if you're like new as a producer. Sometimes you want people to give them what they do not expect, to like share a new vibe. And that's like, you gotta keep people listening to your beats. That's very violent because like, it's like, sometimes I get bored of stuff. You can play a 30-second loop and it's like all hard, but if you repeat that stuff on a regular and the artist doesn't make stuff out of that, he gets bored too. And that's like, sometimes it works, but on the most parts it's like not working because you gotta make at least a little change. And I think the third beat, if you play number 3 on the next one, is like representing that stuff very, very extremely, because it's like such a big change in not only in the melody but in the drums. It's like you wouldn't expect like 2 styles combining. So I think I would go with like Art 2020.
All right, let's do it. Part. We have a question in the chat that I would actually love to hear from. Actually, I might throw this one to Evan.
Yeah, I'm in mute myself. Wait.
Sorry. What percentage of your placements are from in-studio sessions versus sent through email? 50-50, 70-30, 90-10? That's from Beautiful on the Beat.
Oh, industry placement?
Let's just go with overall.
Oh, overall, In person. I would give it maybe, I'll say 60-40. 60-40. And the reason I say that is from a producer standpoint, and this is important for producers. It's a difference between a beat maker and a producer. And my bad, I don't want to take up too much time, but just when you're a producer, you don't, you make the track, but you have a vision for the track. So you're able, like for myself, I'm a songwriter. I came from an artist perspective. I'm an engineer. So like, you're able to guide and direct that artist into making something like that they probably wouldn't have been able to make by themselves. And you're able to offer a lot more when you're in person. You're able to do a lot more, bring in more people, do other things. So I think that sometimes also secures the placement, because they're able to be like, yo, this track wouldn't have turned out like this without, I wouldn't have known, So, but that's why I would say 60-40 for myself, because I'm able to go beyond the beat itself and actually add a lot more value to overseeing the entire record, which is what initially a producer is, in my opinion.
Love to hear it. Thank you for answering.
Yeah, can I add something? He's totally right with it, because like a lot of producers, and that's like separating them from beat makers, they like they don't only do the arrangement, they give tips on songwriting too. So they evaluate that track. I did that myself, because we work very, very often. I think each day when I did my songwriting stuff, we work with artists and we told them what to do and what not to do. And that's like very separating them, because if you're a beat maker, you just make a beat. You put that out, you arrange that, and it's finished. But as a producer, I think TM88 told that a lot when he was working with Lil Uzi. You change that beat all the time until it gets done, because the artist wants something else. And I think it's like not only the producer's vision, but the artist's vision, because the artist has to see something on a beat. The Belgian artist I'm working with right now, he's doing that a lot, because he put in his own vision on the stuff I do. Like, before he had my beats, he was like at home and doing like nothing. But after that, he started touring around and going outside, touring around Europe and stuff like that. Not on a like live performance stage, but he was trying to get like inspiration, get his name out, connect to people and all that stuff, because due to Corona, he can't do that. But all the time I'm telling him what he could change about something, or where the vibe is kind of missing, because you gotta witness, like you gotta work with your ears, and you gotta, that vibe and that stuff, like it's gotta be appealing to your soul, or you gotta have like goosebumps on some stuff like that. I think Travis Scott made a song called Goosebumps. So it's pretty easy, but it gotta like lift you up, or like a lot of things I addressed it. I studied psychology, and I witnessed that, and I saw that a lot, because you gotta address certain parts of your mind with that beat. If it's like neurotransmitters, or if it's like certain brain areas that keep you moving or stuff like that, DJs do that a lot too. They connect with their audience a lot. And as a producer, or an artist, you have to do that too. Yeah, that's like separating them from beat makers, of course. And I would say that too. I would put my big signature on that, what Evan is saying there, because there's a big difference between those two, like music makers. I would say music makers, yes.
For sure. And everybody in the chat is saying that's facts and that you make sense. So thank you guys for speaking to that point. And thank you, Bufo, for the question. Henno, we got 2 tracks left. So what's going to be your second last and your last track?
I made a mistake in my last thing, because I was saying, oh, there's a lot of switches in there, because I wanted you to play VB, the 4th track. Okay. But okay, it's no problem, no worries, because it's like
we're gonna get to all of it. So
yeah, okay, then we do then we do like the second track, and as a surprise, the last track, because it's very different from anything you heard right now.
Okay, so you're saying do Cozy first and then VB?
Yeah, Cozy is like, it's like, I think more of like a flex beat or something like that, because it's like, I don't think it's beat for an artist, but we might find out because it has like vocal samples, like vocals in it, not samples, but vocals in it from artists and stuff as like introduction to the main part and stuff. So
Okay, cool.
let's do this. I'll mute myself. Let's do.
Okay, Cozy and then VB. Here we go, y'all. These are the last 2 tracks from Henno. Let's see some activity in the chat, please. Henno. Okay. Someone said definitely different. We got 4 Tim boots in there.
I like those boots.
Yeah, man. I don't know why I started doing this, but it's just, I think somebody dropped the boots in the chat one time, and it took me out. It was so funny. It's so uncalled for. So I've just been riding with that as a rating scheme ever since. All right, we're gonna play your last track.
Okay.
This is the big grand finale, right? Here we go. Are you ready? I want to run it longer so bad, but for the sake of time, I cannot. But we got 5 Tim Boots grand finale. Bufo said the Whopper with cheese. You came and did what you needed to do today, Henno. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sharing those tracks with us. Evan, you're on deck, buddy.
Hi, so look, I used to be like, this reminds me of a beat battle for some reason. And I know a lot of producers can relate to that. But just run them. You don't really got to play them long. I think it's important that you get the a hit is a hit within the first 10 seconds. So play whatever you want to play randomly. And I would rather let everybody in the comments kind of speak on what they feel about it, or what it reminds them of.
Okay,
like
I like that energy.
Yeah.
Come on, energy. Yeah. All right, so y'all, what do I want to play? All right, so I can play 5 tracks though. You have to at least you're telling me to pick whatever I want.
Just pick what you may think. Like, oh, this might look interesting. Okay, I don't care.
God, this pressure. Okay, I'm gonna go with. I don't want to miss out on anything. That's the thing.
Just play anything.
Okay.
And then when I do this, like a DJ, you stop it.
Okay, no more. Say no more. Say no more. All right, I'm gonna go with felonies because I love this Moneybagg Yo and Key Glock tag. I'm huge fans of theirs. So let's start there.
You should like make, sorry for intervening, but you should like make beat drops or stuff like that.
Straight up.
All right, here we go. I remember this. I've heard this before, and I know I have.
Hey, yo, E, this beat here better drop so crazy.
DJ
So hard, man. Honestly, I think that's probably where I recognize your name a lot, because when I was playlisting for Key Glock, I think your name came up a lot. So you got that tag down. All right. Ooh. Yo, which beat am I gonna pick next? Oh,
pick one.
Let's do Blue Magic. Let's do Blue Magic.
Our representatives are still busy. Please remain on the line. We appreciate your patience.
Hey, yo, E, this beat here better drop so crazy. Hey, yo, E, this beat here better drop so crazy.
J. Cole.
I'm never prepared for that. Whew, that's hard, man. Like, I like that you were able to do like the trap sound and then give us like a boom bap vibe or like something that's just not trap, because that's what we listen to all day.
For sure. I might can request some. I like varieties. You might can play. This would be my only request. No, it's probably not on there. Never mind. I don't think it's on there.
Damn.
It might be on my regular tracks.
Send it to me later.
I got you. Say less. Pick something else, whatever you want to pick.
I want to pick this one that has the Fujiano tag on it. Let's hear Choppas.
Shout out Fujiano.
Shout out Fujiano. Shout out the new 1017. Let's go.
Hey, yo, E, this beat here better drop so crazy.
Timeless music.
Lord God. That is
God, those got the custom tags in there too.
not you laughing at yourself. Goodbye. Okay. So that was the third track. We got two more.
Dripping was like I think that's like one of the most played. That was my first start on BeatStars. That was the first beat I uploaded, I think, and that was the first beat that got a lot of play. I think you guys reposted it, playlisted. Shout out BeatStars. You know what I'm saying? Helping the brother out. You know what I mean? You gotta show love to BeatStars. BeatStars put a lot of people on. If it wasn't for y'all, it wouldn't be no MamaNamedMeEvan, and it wouldn't be no HENNO right now. All right.
Hey.
Let's go with Dripping. Cause we dripping.
Let's do it. All right. That's that energy, man. Okay.
Timeless music.
Hey, yo, E, that drop about to be crazy.
I was literally just getting into it too, and this man said, nope. Okay, so that was 4.
Culture
Vibes.
Rod Wave. Shout out Rod Wave, man. I gotta get one on Rod. Everybody go. I gotta get one on Rod. Let's go.
Okay. Last track. You sure this is your final answer? All right.
Hey, yo, E, this beat here better drop so crazy.
I just want to make sure we got time for closing and all that. But yeah, that's.
You're being too modest. You're cutting your music off too early. But I appreciate the awareness of time. Evan, these are hard, and I hope y'all can go check out Henno and Evan on your own time. Buy something, support your friends. I love that. Sorry, we're just on your pro page, so I might as well just scroll through this. Like, look how clean this is, guys. Like, he offers mixing and mastering. Look at this. Step your game up if you haven't already. This is a beautiful example of a gorgeous pro page. So great work, you guys. Appreciate you guys both being here today. I guess if you could just quickly, before we go off, I need 2 things from you. 1, a shout out to another up and coming producer that you think deserves some shine. And 2, shout out your handles. Henno, you go first.
What do you mean by the second? I quite didn't get that.
So I need you to shout out a up and coming producer that you like, and I need you to shout out your Instagram handles where people can find you.
Okay. So the producer I'm working with right now, he's from the Netherlands. Shout out to LBW Beats. He's very dope on those melodies. I never heard he's putting out so much stuff. He's sending me stuff every day, and it's fucking dope. I got a lot from him when I'm not making my own melodies. So definitely shout out to him. You can also follow his IG. It's LBW Beats. You can find it very easily. It's with the red profile picture on it. And my Instagram handle is kind of difficult to it's easy to spell because L7ENNO. You can follow me there if you want. You can message me. I'm down for collabing with anyone right now. So if you want to get a chance, of course, because I have big requests right now. I'm still working on. There's some big names in it. I can still send out beats to them on the regular, not only in Germany, but also in the US. So if you want to get a chance, send me anything. Send me new beat starters, anything stuff. I'm totally down to do that. So if you want, no problem. If you want, you can do that. And sorry, what's the Rammstein plug? I'm just browsing to
I don't know, but I'm gonna need y'all to talk offline because we are running out of time. Evan.
All right, so real quick, the producer that I want to shout out, man, he's from my city. His name is M80. He done a lot of work with Meek Mill, to Lil Wayne, to NBA YoungBoy, the list, Tracy T, the list goes on. This dude is a very, very talented producer from Cincinnati. If you hear a lot of Honorable C-Note beats, a lot of his work is in that. So check him out. M80 Beats, one of the best producers out here. And then as far as me, you can follow me. Everything is MamaNamedMeEvan. It's MamaNamedMeEvan. The website to Instagram, everything. MamaNamedMeEvan. And follow the page. Shout out y'all, BeatStars. Tia, thank you so much for being just a beautiful spirit and giving us this opportunity to be able to express ourselves and just, you know, spread gems. Henno, dope producer, man. I think that the link up is important. And for all producers out there, link up, y'all. Network. Stop being to yourself. Spread the love, spread the energy. Let's all work together because we all can get this bread and get this success.
Say that. Period. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate both of you being here and, you know, obviously being a part of the BeatStars family. We're so honored to have you guys. So much talent and creativity. I hope you two can connect. And, you know, as for the audience, thank you guys for joining us again this week. You know where to find us every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. It's me and you and whoever I got as a guest. But thank you guys. And I will talk to y'all later. Be safe. Oh, if you haven't voted and you're in the US, I'm gonna need you to just log off everything for the day and go do that, because I would like to cross the border again. I know Henno's trying to cross the border. We're all trying to get things situated, you know? So we need you guys to have like your office in order. Please do that, but be safe and, you know, go with a friend and make sure your phones are charged and all of those things. Okay, sending love and light and patience and all of those things. Be safe, guys. Take it easy.